the soft skills predominantly. And in engineering, that's going to involve obviously empathy, enthusiasm, eagerness, hunger. There's a degree of courage, the ability and willingness to fail, and of course pick yourself back up. I mean, all of those are kind of the skills of life, but especially in software engineering where you're in a constant state of trying to innovate for other companies, that matters a ton. In fact, more so than anything. I mean, it's fair to say that most organizations are hiring a consultancy for their ability to fail, stand back up, and fail again and stand back up in a better place than they were before. So finding those types of soft skills are essential. And then beyond that is definitely having a real strong sense of the landscape. It's not essential that anybody coming from either a code school or even a university for that matter has, you know, this kind of rapid recall of all of the bits and pieces of any language. It's really more about their ability to understand, well, within this landscape, like what types of things are we working with? So if you're talking about web applications, for example, you know, we want them to have a strong sense for an understanding about what's server side against client side. When we're talking about debugging certain errors that they might be experiencing, like that they have a pattern and a methodology in their head for how they're going to go about doing that. They're not going to just start hunting and pecking and, you know, saying that the world is broken and computers hate them. I mean, that's kind of very far back on the list. More closer and more pertinent is, you know, that they do understand the languages, and better yet, when to apply what languages when, right? And have some sense of best practice and pattern. Even if they can't rapidly recall that, what they can do is reference it and find where to fill in the gaps of knowledge if they don't have it at the time. Yeah, so what I experienced with LEARN as far as the qualities of, you know, problem solving and technical ability and prowess was that each of them had a really strong sense for what the landscape of web and mobile application development looked like. Even though they couldn't recall the details of any given API at a much deeper level, you know, being able to solve a problem was totally within their ability, right? So one of the qualifiers when we were in the interviewing process was we needed to know that every candidate, regardless of whether or not they came from LEARN or otherwise, could create an application from scratch. That they could go through the entire process from start to finish of creating a functional application, interacting with the database, committing to a Git repository, deploying that at some level, even if it was with something like Heroku or DigitalOcean. Like, these were kind of the fundamentals that we needed to know they have. And without a doubt, every single candidate at LEARN had at the very least that. More often than not, what we experienced was that they had taken the opportunity to dive a little bit deeper into something that brought a little bit more functionality, whether it was mailers in a Rails application and how to optimize that, or background processing, or the interaction as an API with a front-end client-side application, maybe in React or Ember or something along those lines. Their ability to show their competence as far as the understanding how those two overlapped was very clear, and that was really essential for us. We could teach the rest. Well, the experience at LEARN, as far as a student goes, and from my perspective as a visitor, either, you know, giving a talk from time to time or just visiting for that matter, is highly collaborative, very, very open. You know, I mean, I think the term open door policy is very kind of overly used, but what you don't see is people with headphones, right? You don't see this kind of like sense of, you know, don't bother me, I'm here writing my code, doing my code monkey thing. Like, you just don't witness or experience any of that. And my perception, my feeling on that is that is the most essential way to continue your development and growth. So to see that when I walked into LEARN is huge, right? To know that the environment fosters collaboration. The environment creates kind of rapid fire of creativity and innovation, and there's an openness to collaborate and work with one another and ask questions, like whiteboards full of content of just random thoughts and thinking, computer screens that aren't hidden. Like, these are essential qualities that indicate that the environment of learning is very conducive to innovation.